Boasting a population of about 36 million people, Angola is a country located on the west of Southern Africa, bordering countries namely Namibia, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Zambia, among others. Angola is also regarded as one of the fastest growing economies in the region, with a gross domestic product (GDP) of 3.1%. Owing to its strategic location and the abundance of natural resources, among them oil and other minerals, Angola has emerged as a strong contender for leading the economic reformation of Central and Southern Africa. Angola's economy is also largely dependent on gas and mining, especially diamonds, with crude oil being its main export product. For instance, in 2021, Angola exported crude oil worth over 20 billion United States dollars, which corresponded to some 85% of the total value generated by exports in that country. The country is also strategically located to attract trade, as it boasts of 3 major ports, the largest being the port of Luanda, while others include the port of Lobito and the Namibi port. Being located in the same region, Zambia and Angola have for a long time enjoyed warm bilateral relations for many years. It is for this reason that from January 10th to 12th, 2023, President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA undertook a 3-day state visit to the Republic of Angola to cement these relations. The head of state, accompanied by First Lady Mutinta HICHILEMA, arrived at the 4 de Fevereiro International Airport on Tuesday, 10th January 2023, and was received by Angolan Minister of Foreign Affairs, Teti Antonio. A Zambian delegation comprising Foreign Affairs Minister Stanley Kakubo, Housing and Urban Development Minister Charles Milupi, Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali, and Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Chipoka Mulenga were also on hand to receive the head of state. The president then addressed the Zambian journalists at a Peak Sana hotel, where he was to be accommodated for the rest of his state visit to Angola.
We're happy to be here once more, but more importantly, we're here to strengthen our bondage, people to people, government to government, and really to enhance trade and investment amongst ourselves. 2 neighboring countries, sister countries, we may say so. We tend to trade away from each other. We tend to invest away from each other. We would like to invest and trade with each other more.
On Wednesday, 11th January 2023, the president began his day with a visit to the Antonio Agostinho da Silva Neto Mausoleum in Luanda, a place where Angola's first president is buried. President Neto served as Angolan president from 1975 to 1979. This place is also a national monument, as it preserves the culture and traditional values of Angola. President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, while inside the mausoleum, laid wreaths on the former president's grave. The head of state was then taken on a tour of the mausoleum by authorities at this place.
He was present before that as like honorary president, with all these doings as well, but officially only for years. 75 was when he was inaugurated as president as well. So some of the moments in these pictures are in Angola, some are abroad.
After laying wreaths, the president took time to sign in the visitor's book, where he paid growing tribute to President Neto's contribution to the liberation struggle for the Angolan people. While at the mausoleum, the president also took time to lay wreaths on the grave of Angola's second president, José Eduardo dos Santos, who served the country from 1979 to 2017 and died on the 8th of July 2022. Straight from the graveyard, the head of state headed for the presidential palace, where he was received by that country's president, João Manuel Lourenço. The two presidents then joined cabinet ministers from both countries in the ministerial conference at State House, where issues of bilateral cooperation were discussed.
We must up our game. The President and I chatted quite a lot in the side meeting, private meeting, that we are going to put a bit of pressure on you as cabinet colleagues, as civil servants. No reason why something must not move. We have been at this stage for too long. Is it acceptable for countries that are so close to each other that we actually don't have an official border post which is well developed? Is that acceptable? Can we live with that? No. So we're going to push a little bit. And the President will use me to whip a little bit because I'm younger, slightly younger than him.
Que unidos a toda a base legal já existente nos nossos países, seguramente impulsionarão as trocas comerciais e o investimento cruzado nas nossas respectivas economias. Realço, neste contexto, memorando de entendimento entre o Ministério das Obras Públicas, Urbanismo e Habitação da República de Angola.
Still at State House, President HICHILEMA and his Angolan counterpart, President Lourenço, witnessed the signing of 6 memoranda of understanding in the areas of infrastructure, energy, education, trade and justice. On infrastructure, the two governments committed to the development of the construction of the Zambia-Angola connection road via the Jimbe border in the northwestern province and the Malundo-Sikongo border in the western part of Zambia. The two leaders all agreed that despite Zambia and Angola enjoying political peace and vast land between them, they have no single developed border for the purposes of enhancing trade in the two nations. On energy, the two heads of state underscored the important investments in the petroleum and gas sectors as a way of ensuring affordable fuel and petroleum products, which is a key input in the productive sectors in both countries. After the signing of the agreements, the two presidents held a press briefing at the presidential garden within State House. This is where President Lourenço expressed interest to engage Zambia on the importation of cattle and other livestock, saying Angola does its imports mainly from Brazil.
Mais do que nos recordarmos e agradecermos a ajuda que a Zâmbia prestou a Angola no seu processo de libertação, hoje, países independentes, ambos, a vivermos em paz, em harmonia um com o outro, temos de virar as nossas atenções para a necessidade do desenvolvimento econômico e social dos nossos países.
As for President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, his message was a call for enhanced trade between Zambia and Angola, stating that there was no reason for Zambia to continue importing crude oil from Saudi Arabia when the country can source for the commodity from a neighboring country like Angola.
Zambia, one of its main consumption commodity is oil, is fuel. Probably is one of the single largest cost to our economy, imported commodities oil. How is it that we have managed to do. I don't even know how we have managed to do this for years, to obtain oil, to procure oil from Saudi, from elsewhere, and not next door. I'm sure you're all angry about it. As Angolans, you're angry that the market next door is not buying from you. Zambians should be angry that we're not buying from the family next door. Same house, different bedrooms. Instead of taking tea in the next bedroom A or B, we are going to take coffee and tea in Europe. This is unacceptable.
After the official program at State House, President HICHILEMA had another assignment with lawmakers at the Angolan National Assembly. The president's address to the Angolan parliament was premised on peace and security in Southern Africa and the region as a whole.
We are aware and understand the negative effect of instability in any country. And that's why we have said, and I believe in what I've been saying, we have been saying as a country, that instability anywhere has the potential to destabilize other countries and the world at large. Haven't we seen it in the war between Ukraine and Russia? Haven't we felt the commodity price surge, upward surge, fuel, food, fertilizer? Therefore, it is important that we invest in this stability, peace and security within our countries and the continent as a whole.
The head of state also took time to urge African parliaments to enact laws that have the interest of citizens, as they are the basis of what are voted into office.
Make laws that will support peaceful coexistence. Make laws, amend laws, as we have seen in our country. We are amending laws. This year, 2023, we have called it as a year to open up, to unlock any and all rigidities that affect development of the country, including the law. Including the laws. Madam President, we cited the death penalty. We promised the people of Zambia that we'll do this when we form government. When we're still in opposition, we have removed the defamation of the president, criminal defamation of the president. And we have invited the opposition to say what they want about this fellow speaking here.
Later that evening, the head of state met Zambians living in Angola and encouraged those with capacity to consider investing in needy sectors such as energy.
Energy is another area. Zambians in the country and outside, individuals and corporates, have close to $2 billion in our Zambian financial system. And it's just sitting there. How? What sort of business people are you? You immobilize the money for years, and it's just sitting there. So now we are looking for opportunities to give you, to offer to you to say, why don't you come up with one or two friends, invest in a 50 megawatt power station, solar, costs around $50 million. You don't have to put $50 million. You have to put a little bit of equity there. The rest you can gear. And then ZESCO gives you the power purchase agreement. You have one customer. And we want to make sure that when ZESCO does that, give you that power purchase agreement, they will pay you. In the past, ZESCO wasn't paying.
With the current challenges that Zambia is facing in the energy sector, including the procurement of petroleum products, President HICHILEMA took advantage of his visit to Angola, and on January 12, 2023, he undertook a 600-kilometer journey from Angola's business hub, Luanda, to Benguela province. Here, the president visited Lobito Oil Refinery, the port of Lobito, and the Lobito rail station. These sites were some of the most important assignments on the president's diary. The first site to be visited by the head of state and his entourage was the Lobito oil refinery, which is under construction and is expected to be completed in the year 2026.
The Lobito refinery right now is a project that's being implemented that contemplates a nominal capacity of processing of 200,000 barrels per day. It's aimed to be constructed in a single phase. That means that all the units, all the refineries are going to be built all in a single phase. And concluded, it's designed to process Angola's medium light crudes to add value to our own crude. And it's aimed at to maximize the production of diesel, which within Angola and our regional neighbors is what the greatest deficit as far as refined products is. So followed by gasoline and then other products like jet fuel, LPG, and fuel oil.
The government of Angola has awarded Zambia a 15% stake in the refinery, meaning that once the project becomes operational, Zambia will begin importing crude oil from Angola instead of Saudi Arabia, which is its traditional oil import destination. While at the site, the president and his delegation had opportunities to raise points of clarifications regarding the refinery.
The port, so this investment, do you plan to use it for commercial purposes after the project, or it is just primarily designed to anchor the project lifespan?
It's entirely designed for the refinery itself. It does not have any commercial purpose aside from offloading the heavy equipment that the commercial port cannot accommodate, and for production itself, it's not for any type of commercial use whatsoever. It's just for product itself.
Once commissioned in 2026, the refinery is expected to process 200,000 billion barrels equivalent to 32,000 cubic meters of crude oil on a daily basis. This is the main reason why President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA's administration is positioning itself to benefit from the refinery. The president also took time to visit the port of Lobito, which is expected to start receiving mining ore from Katanga, DR Congo, and Zambia for export carried through the Benguela rail. The port has invested in building a terminal for ore with a 310-meter dock, a total area of 200,000 square meters, and a capacity to receive ships up to 50,000 metric tons with an operational capacity of 3.6 million tons per year. Zambia wants to partner with the Angolan government over the use of the port in transporting heavy cargo. As a result, discussions are ongoing between the two neighboring countries to build a railway line from Angola's Lobito city in Benguela province to Zambia for the purpose of moving the planned heavy cargo such as mining products and oil. After a successful 3-day state visit to Angola, it was time for the head of state to head back home from Katumbela International Airport in Lobito City.
These are the things we came here to discuss, how we can enhance trade and investment between the two countries to benefit our people. And fuel is important to us. It's one major cost to running business in Zambia. And obviously it's important we look at also us bringing in goods here. So infrastructure is important. So oil is important. Food from our end to here is important. Roads is important, and eventually pipeline if necessary. So it's a fantastic visit.
The president's state visit provided the two leaders with an opportunity to cement the bilateral relations that have existed over the years. The trip was also an opportunity for the two countries to explore further other areas of cooperation that will benefit their citizens. Some of the agreements have already started bearing fruits, with the landing of Angola's flag carrier, TAG Airline, on Zambia's Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on the 13th January 2023, after a long time.
During the state visit, we had 6 memorandum of understandings signed, and the president and his counterpart, President Lorenzo, had a fruitful meeting where they agreed to elevate the status of bilateral relations between Zambia and Angola. They also agreed that the pending projects be expedited. The projects that were under discussion include the railway line project to connect Zambia's railway line to the Benguela railway line. Also, to construct the roads linking Zambia and Angola via Jimbe and via Sikongo. Also, for Zambia, Zambia reaffirmed its commitment to invest a stake in the upcoming Lobito refinery, which will have a capacity of 200,000 barrels per day refinery capacity.
With such commitments by the two countries with regards to the engagements they had, what now remains is the actualization of other signed treaties.